journey now. My, I don't know where my fireflies have gone. I hope it will join me in a few minutes. If it doesn't join, it's okay. So, last session, you all shared good experiences. That indicates a journey of evolution. Home to monastery, monastery to home. Did you understand? One guy remarked that to make the mind a monastery, that means there is a purification of the mind. Crazy home to peaceful home. Everything has to undergo inside. Everything has to go inside. Leave home means that you leave identifications. Understand clearly. Leave home means leave identification. Buddha left the kingdom, that is more a symbolic. He left the identification. That is why the masters in those days, they say that he woke up at midnight, he saw his wife. I don't know why they always talk about wife, but anyhow, masses. So he looked at the wife and his kid, and he said goodbye and he left the kingdom. Don't excite or hesitate. Now you have to go deeper and find the essence of these one liner metaphors. Don't excite or tease an elephant while sitting on an orange tree, which is soft and gentle. Elephant will uproot the tree and kill you. Don't fight with the time by having a pride of the wealth and the luxuries, but find what is eternal in you. It's such a beautiful, my master used to say, don't fight with the darkness. Simply sit near the light and everything will happen by itself. Do you see that? We all are seekers now in these Monday and Thursday sessions are, I would say in a manner, they are serious sessions. So by these metaphors, I want to discuss about why there is a teacher and a seeker tradition, why there is a master and a disciple tradition. Why shouldn't I use podcast? Which, but having a session, live session with a teacher is very important. After that, repeat listening can be done by podcast in the videos and etc., blog and etc., etc. Question is why? I told you we are not talking of any religion, cult, dogma, belief, blind belief. Masters have given answers to every question. Once it struck to me almost 30 years back, I said to the master that you are the last word. I will only listen to you in a session. I will share my experiences if you tell me. And after that, I will go and contemplate. I told you that I used to hear his talks maybe 100 times. That is podcast. But now the question in this tradition, the very important question, that why the master and a disciple tradition means that it is not to do be done with the podcast. It has to do with the live sessions that At least this is also a live session. You are sitting near me and I'm sitting near you because I'm looking at you. But why? So I was thinking, and yesterday night I got the answer from the oldest book of yoga. Name of the oldest book of yoga is Yoga Vasisht. Vasisht is the name of the master. Yoga here means the knowledge of the real self. And this Yoga Vasisht contains only almost 32,000 verses. If you write it almost around 700 or 800 pages, and if you write the translation, it should be around 2,000 pages. And if you explain a bit, it should be around 5,000 pages. Do you dare to study that book? Reading few pages, you'll become bored. At least once I have read everything, but you already know I have a short memory. I forget the things easily. Now, in that text, all the teachings by the master are in the form of stories. You say that, uh, I gave you an example, don't tease an elephant sitting on an orange tree, which is soft and gentle. Otherwise, an elephant will uproot the tree and kill you. So I'm just giving a brief and then I will come to the answer that question. That will help you to leave the home. Leave the home. Our friend is not there. I was upset. You are saying leave the home. How can I leave my honey, my kids, my money and luxuries? That is not the case. So in that book, if the student is not first, master tells you a story. Okay, get the message. You are not getting the message. You are sharing your experiences. So the master analyzes that your experiences, and then he tells you the another story to clarify. Now you are not clear, so he gives another story. He doesn't talk directly about the principle. Why? Answer, why? Because these principles are related to the real self. That is why I gave the three one-liner. Don't fight with the time by having a pride of the wealth, luxuries, home, relations. Why? Find what is eternal in you. So what is eternal in you will help you transcend the time. Wealth will not help you to transcend the time. Luxuries will not help you to transcend it. Did you get it? That's why I refer, this is 66 years old machine. So even if it is 1 year old, it was not there before 1 year, and it will not be there after a few more years. Now come to the story. So he told one story to Rama. Rama was the disciple and the Sikh. Rama is also known as the reincarnation of. Uh, so, and he. So when the Vasistha, the master, told him one story, I'm giving a pause. He asked the student, "Did you understand?" Rama said, "Yes, sir, I have understood." In America, if you are not excited, if you don't say yes, sir, it means you have not understood. That is what, Jerry, I found here. Are you excited? Pay attention. So the master, I told you, master gave another story, narrated another story. and then asked the Rama, "Did you understand, my son?" This time the voice of the student is slow, body is steady, face is little calm. "Yes, sir." You see, it goes opposite to the American way. Are you excited? Vasistha realized that he needs one more story. You have to extract the meaning. So he narrated another story. That is also what I do, don't feel bored. So you learn, you learn. Teacher is always constant learning. So he narrated another story, and this time he asked his student, "Son, did you understand?" And he is totally absorbed. His face glows. He is already in touch with the eternal. The master got the answer. Good. Keep sitting. You have found the real self. That is why we need a master and a student tradition. Did you understand? Did you understand? It is the same thing which I have been talking about. Study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. So you are studying, you're listening to the teacher, and your mind is already absorbed into the real self. The teacher is asking, "Did you understand?" The teacher is looking at your eyes and ears, the posture, the way you are sitting and looking. You are in contact. Your eyes contact is that is why I got my cataract surgery. So I should have a better contact with your eyes. So that is not the case. You see that teacher always looks, teacher is fully attentive and aware, he is aware of everyone. So there should not be any curtain. It should be a curtain raiser. Did you understand? Teacher told the third story and the student is absorbed. We have another student, I don't want to criticize. He also get absorbs into sleepiness. So that should not be there. Now, did you now understand the depth of it? First time, did you understand? Yes, sir. I understood. It happens not in US, but everywhere. Yes, sir, I have understood. So I'm proving that I'm still awake. No, I'm not talking of the waking state. I'm talking of the transcendental state. Did you understand that? So the master is looking something else. Master is not looking what is the social norm. Your eyes, your contact, your mind, awareness, and attention is 100%. Yeah, if you have a slow internet connection, it's okay. You don't show your face otherwise. It is important. It is important. Second story, so his voice becomes slow. So there are two possibilities. Either you are lazy or sleeping, or you are getting absorbed. In the third, now you are totally absorbed, total stillness. I gave the metaphor. Where I gave the metaphor, that is why I gave you the metaphor. The second metaphor, don't fight with the time. Can I fight with the time? Take the same example. I live fully with every event, good or bad. So again, I will bring cataract. Don't fight with the time. Live fully. Live fully means what? Fullness. What is fullness? Fullness is mindfulness. Whatever is changing will always have challenges in your life. We are going deeper. I'm pointing you out. There is another meaning that now I have left the home. I have left the home. So, can you imagine? Now, imagine, the Rama was such a great seeker and a student, and ultimately, he is known as a reincarnation. And then he lived, he was a king, and he ruled the kingdom for many, many years. And he established a kingdom, you can say the kingdom of liberation. I want to say that. Uh, but can you imagine this master, crazy master, narrated maybe 1,000 stories? After 1,000 stories, he was awakened. Have you heard 1,000 stories from me? You have to wait. You have to. You see that? That is the that is the tradition. Whether I say, first I said, I impressed upon your mind that study Eastern wisdom to study yours. I'm into anxiety, duality, and conflict. Oh, study Eastern wisdom. I'm into anxiety. Study Eastern wisdom to study myself. Then I gave many other examples, and I said, leave your home. That is the last eighth step. And today I just revealed. There are many more revelations that we can understand. Now, just understand why we lay importance. Huh? It's a living tradition. So come back. This is one way to understand. Come back, leave your home, another interpretation to make you understand clearly so that you are not anxious and worried that, I have built this home and I'm paying the mortgage, only 5 years is left, and you are saying leave the home. Prices, David knows the prices of the homes are very, very high nowadays. We are talking of leave the home means the leave the identifications. There are four types of identifications. Now you see, the moment you understand, it becomes so clear to you. You are still living the same life, but there is a qualitative change in you. Calmness is settled, peace is settled. Normally, what happens? Anxiety is always settled in relation to someone. Reaction is settled in relation to someone. I got a message, Jerry, that everything is fine with my. He said, "Thank you very much. I have not to answer more. I'll be moving away after a month." Leave home. The first identification is with the body. How? I am fat, I am tall, I am thin, I am black, I am white. Identification. Do you see that? Look at this. How beautiful is to understand. Because I have a short height, so I have an inferiority complex. Identification with I'm tall, so I can take over anyone. Do you see? I'm smart or I'm white. For the girls, my nose is very beautiful. Everyone should appreciate this. Identification with the world. No, just beautiful. Everyone should know. They will look at it. Finish. Don't keep that thought and feeling in your head. That is the meaning of leaving the home. Do I have any complex? I don't shave. I didn't shave my beard for many, many months now. Or you have shaved. Both. Understand? First identification. The second identification with the sense organs, cataract, eyes. Second identification. So I told you the incident, those medical assistants were more worried, and I said, this is 66-year-old machine. You can reveal that understanding naturally. You need not to read it because you don't have any identification. Your mind is free. So second identification with the sense organ, because the sense picks up the object, eyes picks up the color and the form and the beauty, and then you look at your mirror, then the same eyes it identifies with your body. It is very simple. You have to maintain your awareness and it is done. Same thing with the sound, touch. Third identification is with the mind. Mind with the past impressions. You insulted me 10 years ago, my in-law, my parents, I still remember, I'm still suffering. That is why you are crazy, because you keep the identification. Leave the world. What happened yesterday. Just move ahead. Third, identification. And the fourth identification with I thought, the ego. Ego destroys us, creates a reaction and hesitation when I am identified with it. But when you use this I as a machine, it doesn't make any difference. I also use I. You have to use your I. Oh, just hold on, I'm going to the restroom. So you are using the I. It is not causing any problem. And did you understand that? So we have basically four identifications, and you drop that four identifications, you have left the home. You are still living in a home. You are free. You live in a higher awareness. You live into that state of calmness and peace. The mind is now a faithful servant once you leave the identifications. Mind is the worst master when you keep these identifications in your life. It blocks your awakening to recognize that real self. I don't want to give more metaphors, but one more metaphor today. One more story that will summarize your. If mind is the faithful servant, it becomes the leader of the freedom. America is a leader of freedom. That's how we understand them. Still, I have to understand a lot about living here. It has only been 20 years now. So we say we are the leader of the freedom. What I'm saying? So from there, I got this understanding. Mind is the leader of the freedom only when it is a faithful servant. If mind is the worst master, it makes people criminals, serial killers. You fight tooth and nail, you enter into the stress, un you create unfavorable conditions in your life, you accumulate the sins in your life. I've already told you what is the meaning of the sin. Don't go to religion, dogma, cult, and belief. Think. Wheels of the tires are flat. Steering is almost very difficult to steer, and the driver is drunk. Now you're driving a car. You're driving to the right side, it hits the left side. I'm completing this story of the metaphor. The sense organs are the wheels, mind is the steering, driver is the intellect. That is how we take care of our daily life in order to leave the home. Say goodbye. Does it not happen to you also sometime? Sometime, intellect says, no, no, take the right turn, but still the mind takes the left turn. And then we take an entire round and then we return. It happens to everyone. Mind is impulsive. It's okay. It is not harming. You recognize and realize. But in case of other situations in our family life, personal life, professional life, we don't recognize it and we enter into the stress. We had many stories, many metaphors. One more metaphor to make the things clear. Just imagine, think for a while. Jerry, I think Jerry knows and David knows. We have more animals than our population in the United States, almost double. We have more pets. They don't have an intellect that intellect, that drives. This is the right side, I will drive. This is the left side, I will drive. It gives the order to the mind, and then we use the mind as a faithful servant. Just it came to my mind, I'm just thinking that at least, I know that, the population of the pets in the United States is much more than the human population, right? Now, they don't have an intellect. You leave them, you give them total freedom. What is going to happen to our country? They will start fighting. They will form a group. They will pee and poo at any places. When the mind is the worst master, that happens in our life. I can bet you. A very tough example, but this is what happens in our life. You are having a sound sleep, and the 10 dogs, they start barking. Now you can call the 911 if the neighbor's dog is creating a problem, because it's the role of it's the responsibility of the owner. I'm comparing just think impulsive mind is the this is what happens in your life. And that is, we try to just solve the problem by being into the problem. Did you understand? That is why I gave the three one liner. Don't excite or hesitate or tease an elephant when you are sitting on a very soft tree. Why? The elephant will uproot the tree, it will kill you. I'm talking about the mind. Don't fight with the time. How you want to fight with the time? By having a pride of the wealth and the luxuries. Suppose I had $10 million. Could I have prevented my cataract? No, I don't realize this. When I don't realize, I'm stuck to home. I have to leave home. Thank God I had the opportunities, I had the resources, I got it done, finished. Don't fight with the darkness. Simply sit near the light, you are there. This is the entire message of all the first 8 steps, if you learn it clearly. And I can bet you, promise you, why should I promise? Eastern wisdom promises. Life becomes very beautiful, relaxed, and calm. No, will all my problems will be over in relation to the world? No, you can easily solve those problems. Problems are outside. Winter is outside. Can it solve the problem of that I should not feel cold in a winter? You have to become a crazy guy. Not possible. I have to learn how to endure. I have not to react. Reaction, worst master. Endurance, faithful servant. We have learned the intellect is available to us. Polar bears cannot do that. They are evolved like this. We are not, we are evolved to adapt and adjust and evolve. That is the message of the Eastern wisdom, my friends. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and place of the body. Place of the body. One. Position of the body. Two. Posture. Being comfortable. I told you being comfortable is nothing but changing the direction of the mind. Are you aware that the mind has already changed the direction from the mind that was scattered in millions of directions outside? You have not left the home. That is why it is scattered. Mind has changed the direction. You have started the journey of leaving the home, and that makes you comfortable. But just by understanding that descends down into the mind follows like a faithful servant. Hence, I need not to explain how to be comfortable. You have to do the practice of being comfortable and carefree at least maybe 100,000 times during the day. Just it takes a minute. Oh, takes a minute? Yes. Being carefree. A little more distance. between the world and the mind. How? No, I have to leave the home. No, that word is living in my mind. Okay, I have understood. Being carefree, you experience the separation of all the thought, feeling, and emotions. Any thought, feeling, and emotions, my friends, it has to do with sticking identifications. But then we go a little deeper into this problem of identification by the six neighbors. That is a very set pattern. There are only five neighbors. I have included one more. The first neighbor is the world outside. Just see that which neighbor, which item, which person, which relation is near to you. It cannot be nearer than the body. So it is far away. It is different. I'm focused on leaving the home. Okay. The second neighbor is the body. We already talked about the identification with the body. Third neighbor is the energy, hunger, and thirst. Fourth neighbor, mind. So I categorize the four identifications we have reached to the mind. Fifth neighbor is the I thought and the intellect. So we already discussed about it. Sixth neighbor is the ignorance. We know. Ignorance means I have yet to know the real self. Simple phrase. Do I know? But I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and I feel that I have a glimpse of it. Yes. But I have to live into that experience and awareness, or whatever you want to say, that Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Pick up any of the metaphors and the stories I told you today and see how it fits into the Shanti mantra. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. I'm not explaining you. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. May there be wholeness and completeness in all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. I gave an example of drunken driver steering, freezed, and wheels, sense organs. without the memory of an object that mind has stored, received from the sense organs. Senses are wheels. Mangalam Bhavatu, may there be auspiciousness for all. And in that state of auspiciousness, so your body is already in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You look inside the forehead in the space, time. In order to bypass the past, present, and the future, we are looking into the space inside. We are dropping Om Shanti there. And while dropping Om Shanti, start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into the rib cage so that your ribs expand completely and the ribs contract completely. What is the meaning of mind is the faithful servant here? It comes gradually, step by step. Yeah, there are rare people, who simply listens to these principles, and their intellect is so much subtle. Not IQ is great. We don't need a high, greater IQ. I told you. We need a common sense. So people think otherwise, and then they get into trouble. Continue breathing long, deep in the hissing breath. So what I was telling that when the mind is a faithful servant, you hear the instructions in your intellect, mind follows it, bypassing the challenges the mind feels. The challenges the mind feels because of complete long, deep in the hissing breath. So your intellect is aware what the heck mind is you're doing while inhaling. You are squeezing the rib cage. No, don't do that. That is why we have to maintain an awareness. Oh, the mind is saying that it is difficult. No, endurance. Look at simple way to understand these practices. And we bring in even for the breathing practices, we are too far in yoga studios. We are too far from what our masters have taught us. Continue breathing deep, silent. No, long, deep in the hissing breath. You see what I wanted to say, and that is the impulsive mind. It will continue because we need impulses and reflex action for survival. And stop the breathing. Continue with the Om Shanti. At the same time, look at the flow of the breath. Watch and observe and check if the flow of the breath is equal. Wonderful. Even if it is not equal, that too is wonderful. Why? You have left the home of attachment. Why to worry? Today it has not happened. Tomorrow it will happen. Do you see the casual way? This is known as the mindful way of living. You're just aware of the flow of the breath, my friends. And in that awareness, you also experience there's more tingling sensation, relaxation, calmness in the body, and the mind is relatively free. Even if the thought comes, you are free. Now you are already doing Om Shanti. So you start long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. The belly should expand like a balloon. The belly should contract so that it touches the spine with every exhalation. It expands with every inhalation. And you're aware of the endurance and the joy of doing. Check that. Why to check that? To check, to understand, to recognize, to realize the mind is faithful servant. But why? Answer in metaphor. I need not to struggle with darkness. It is a subjective reality. We are searching the subjective. The protocol of objective research will not work, or it may work at the outer level. So you're breathing into the belly, continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath, from endurance to the joy of doing. Om Shanti continues. Om Shanti continues. Now stop this. Continue with the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead into the space and be aware of the flow of the breath. You're already doing Om Shanti. You redirect the mind, dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. That is all. So we are transitioning softly and gently to check if the mind is a faithful servant. It comes in between. Steering is in between. Intellect is the driver, and wheels are the Om Shanti. So we already discussed whether you are saying it mentally, you are saying it for a longer way, shorter way. It is okay. Om Shanti. That is also Om Shanti. Now, looking inside the cave of your heart, visualize the triangle of any color pointing upward. It is an equilateral triangle and dropping on Shanti on each side of it, triangle moving it clockwise and anti-clockwise and waiting that it is synced clearly. What it means? All the three sides sync together. You find the easy flow. That is the time when you push your mind singing deeply. Mind seemingly stops, you drop the shanti. Finished. Now almost you are in a state of doing nothing. What the existence does nothing. Why, if the existence does anything, it will be changing. And if it is changing, then it is not eternal. If it is not eternal, then it has a birth in the death. What we are searching, which does not have a birth, neither birth nor death. It is our real self. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right side of right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Samir?
आई एम फाइन सर। तो ममता की लड़की की शादी थी सर, तो वो रात
Oh,
के फंक्शन थे, तो बड़ी हो गई है ना, 2 लड़की हैं उसकी।
good, good, good.
इट वाज सर, आई थिंक whenever you are in peace, then mind automatically becomes your servant, and it never allows you, means it gives you good advice. If you are going to do something wrong, it will stop you from doing that. It becomes, it is my personal experience. Means if you are in anxiety, then it becomes a bad master, then wrong and more wrong and more wrong, and it becomes a chain of wrong things. So it is like that. It should be at peace. So it becomes a good, means faithful servant. What you were telling, it is a very right
Do,
experience.
do you see it's a beautiful statement? I didn't speak of that. So you are saying the calmness and the peace, the peaceful state of the mind, it is always a faithful servant. I didn't say that, but you came out. That's a wonderful statement to see that. So it means what? If I'm into anxiety and reaction and duality, I should return. Beautiful. Beautiful. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Again, really enjoyed the lesson. Another tool for the toolbox. The four identifications really hit home with me. There, I'm going to spend a lot of time reflecting on that. But and meditation was good. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Mine kind of went to the same place as Samir, with the identifications being unnecessary and identifying with just the true nature. If we do that, then we're inspired always to take right action at the right time.
Yes.
And otherwise, so it's just that if we do find ourselves triggered, I love your metaphors and stories, and depending on where we're at in our journey, they always touch me in a different place. So thank you. Meditation.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yes, yes, Jerry. We should live our life with these metaphors, examples, and the principles. That is the right way to apply these principles into your daily life. Why? Because you'll have left the home in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social life. What it means? There is no identification at all. So when there is no identification, the peaceful state of the mind will continue to maintain. The mind is not going to be a worse master. Worst master, the steering is frozen. You cannot accelerate. How are you? Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you for the session, and thank you for the reminder that the mind is a wonderful tool, but it is only a tool. And it needs to be reminded of that frequently to know its place.
Yes.
And my meditation was very peaceful and calm and dark space at the end. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. We have to give a reminder. Now you asked another question, that what happens when the mind is not reminding you? Or I would say, use another phrase, when I'm not reminded what the heck I'm doing, why I'm reacting, why I'm angry, why I'm hesitating. Randy will say, because of my students. So the second will say, because of my cat. Third will say, because of my dog. Oh, so you have taught your dog and cat English language. They understand you. You see, that is what we forget. That forgetfulness is known as ignorance. How are you, Brandy?
Well, I'm not irritated with my students because the semester's over.
No, no, oh, it's over? Oh,
This
semester is over?
Yes, it's over.
Oh, so you mean to say it is over? That is why you are not irritated?
I'm not going there. So I really like the metaphor of the elephant because I think when we get entangled with the mind and all of its identities, we do get uprooted. And I coupled that with what you said about just staying close to the light and things working out. And so as I went through my meditation and the mind did what the mind does, I just kept that idea of being close to the light in mind, which will be the work that I'll need to do all the time.
All
Thank
the
you.
time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. We have to remember we lose our or our steering freezes down in case I'm looking at the elephant outside. I'm very at the weak spot and still I react and hesitate. That is another way to interpret these metaphors. So now you see that you don't allow your mind in any situation. How it is possible? Leave the identification. 4 levels of identification. Student is not listening. Thank you because you are not listening. Very good. You are sleeping. Very good. I used to get irritated also. I also evolved, from the same state. It is not that, nobody is born state. I used, what the heck you are doing? Why you are not listening to me? You are sleeping in my sessions. But now you better you sleep. You will return again. So don't get to, that is what the mind should not enter into that state. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I could feel a sense of restructuring in the mind and the dropping of importance of everything outside, and almost the sense of the existence fully embodying my physical body in a way that drew my attention more. And I hadn't felt that before.
Yes, you touched upon a very important point. This computer is important. Why it is important? Because I am important. It is not that the computer is important. I am important. And what is that? You have to see that. You really touched upon. So that I, we are referring to the real I. And that springs your awareness. It drops your forgetfulness. And you are gone. The mind is now the faithful servant. That is another way to put it. How are you, Terry?
I was thinking about the control step and the relationship to humbleness.
Good, good. Obviously, the byproduct of humbleness and clarity, peace, calm, it means the humility blossoms in those states of the mind. So we normally say, I'm very humble. How dare you say me anything? So then you are not humble.
Mhm.
We use these lot of stuff in our daily life. How are you, Weber?
Thank you, sir. So mind is calm. It's like that when we remember that my reactions are coming because of my identifications, then it encourages also to not to carried away by those identifications, and it makes
Yeah.
the mind clear. So it makes mind peace and calm.
The moment you recognize it, what happens? You turn inward. So you have to, you made the mind faithful servant instantly. It happens in the next moment, in a fraction of a millisecond. It is all about your awareness. And that is why we say that live in a moment and choiceless awareness, etc., etc. Yes, you're right. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर ऐसे होता है कि मन को बार बार पकड़ना पड़ता है मतलब जब भी
Yes.
जाने लगे तो अवेयर हो जाते हैं कि गड़बड़ हो रही है तो वापस तो
Yes,
इम्प्रूवमेंट है बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट है
very good. There is an improvement, she says, and she repeated the same principle. The mind will only understand, recognize, realize by repetition, by contemplation and reflection. There is no other way. That is all for today. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, sir.
we will meet
थैंक यू
again.
सर
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.